The New York Times puts it this way this morning: a remarkable coup of intelligence and military force that immediately decapitated Tehran's chain of command. So, Richard Haass, let's talk about what comes next. Obviously, this is a loud attack that got the attention of the world this morning. Prime Minister Netanyahu says there is more to come. We will go, he says, for as many days as it takes. What is your read about what that means? As many days as it takes to do what? To destroy their nuclear capabilities? What is the aim here for Israel?
Well, the phase of going after the Iranian military and nuclear personnel, I think, is probably over because you no longer have surprise. Israel seems to have already pretty much degraded Iranian air defenses. So what's left is a number of facilities and installations associated with the nuclear program. I obviously haven't seen damage assessments of places like Natanz, not far from Tehran, which is one of the main facilities. You've got various reactors around the countries. As I mentioned before, you've got this large underground, hard-to-reach facility at Fordo. So it could be that the Israelis will have a kind of open-ended campaign along their own time schedule, not rushed. They'll attack, they'll do assessment. If need be, they'll attack some more. There's still going to be limits, I think, on what they can accomplish. And that's why, again, I think this could play out over a long amount of time, where Iran then can choose the means and locations of its retaliation. And then also Iran's going to have to make some big decisions, not just about reconstituting their leadership, which has been devastated here, but also about reconstituting their nuclear program. And, one of the arguments, again, that's historically been raised against Israel doing this type of a preventive strike is that Iran would be the recipient of a degree of international sympathy and would basically say, we tried to work it out diplomatically, it didn't work, so now we're going to underground do our own program in ways that Israel can't reach. I'm not necessarily predicting that, but I don't think we should look at this really that somehow this issue now is quote unquote solved. I think this is more yet another kind of point of punctuation along a long road here that has been playing out for some time.
And to Richard's point about watching for the next steps from both Iran and Israel, we also, of course, have to watch Washington. President Trump has made clear he does not want conflict. He wants wars to end and end quickly. We're seeing that, of course, in Ukraine. We're seeing that in Gaza. We're seeing that in the Middle East. That's what he says with his rhetoric. That very few actions have led that to happen. We should make that clear. It seems like for now the U.S. is, as say, maybe they acquiesced to this attack, but they're standing on the sidelines. They're stressing they were not intimately involved. The president, again, just a few moments ago, saying he still hopes for a diplomatic solution to bring this conflict to a close. We've also seen as what happens when there's violence in the Middle East. Oil prices already starting to rise this morning. And Willie, we also should look at the relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, one that was very close in Trump's first term, but has grown rather strained here in recent months. The president, of course, skipped Israel on his recent Middle East visit. He was able to talk Netanyahu out of a strike back in the spring. That didn't happen this time around. Netanyahu has showed a willingness to he defied President Biden at times, seemingly maybe doing so again here with President Trump. So we'll need to watch that relationship. What kind of conversations, what kind of meetings perhaps do these two men have as Washington tries to chart its next steps in what is obviously now a situation that for a lot of people raises fears of a wider war?
And we heard President Trump just a minute ago in that clip saying explicitly Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That appears to be the mission pursued now as of this morning by Israel as well. Richard Haass, David Ignatius, great to have you both on such an important morning. Thank you. Still ahead on more.